You're listening to Alcoholics Alive, where recovered members of Alcoholics Anonymous share their experience on how they live AA as a way of life. None of our participants get paid or speak for AA. Here are your hosts, Shank and Wayne. Shank, on our episode last week,
Yep.
I don't want to go backwards, but I am.
Okay. Don't regret the past.
Well, that's right. Or wish to shut the door on it. Keep coming back.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was?
Yep.
The one thing that has always irritated me about that comment, that I don't think I covered it last week, is it implies that AA is something that you go to, like it's a place that you go to. Mm-hmm. Keep coming back. And AA is not something that you go to. Certainly we attend meetings, but AA is a way of life.
That's right.
So I just wanted to clarify that.
Clean that up.
Clean it up a little bit. So just know that AA is not something that you go to or that you even attend. AA is a way of life. So it's something that you practice as a way of life. It's not something that you go to or you have to keep coming back to. So there you have it. Welcome, everyone. Shank, what is our Upon Awakening reading today?
Upon Awakening. This comes from the book Alcoholics Anonymous at page 66. That's the 4th edition, 2001. And it says, "It is plain that a life which includes deep resentment leads only to futility and unhappiness. To the precise extent that we permit these, do we squander the hours that might have been worthwhile. But with the alcoholic, whose hope is the maintenance and growth of a spiritual experience, this business of resentment is infinitely grave. We found that it is fatal. For when harboring such feelings, we shut ourselves off from the sunlight of the spirit. The insanity of alcohol returns and we drink again. And with us, to drink is to die. If we were to live, we had to be free of anger. The grouch and the brainstorm were not for us. They may be the dubious luxury of normal men, but for alcoholics, these things are poison."
Well, that's pretty clear on telling us why the insanity to drink would return. Don't harbor resentments. You get mad, deal with it, give it to God, talk to someone, and move on.
Find someone to help.
Find somebody to help. Such a good reading, and such an accurate reading.
I remember, being newly sober and just thinking, I mean, really?
Mm-hmm.
I have some stuff to be mad about. Maybe it's not resentment. Maybe it's my deep childhood trauma and neglect and just all this other stuff. Because I went through a few treatment centers. I didn't drink, but I went through a few treatment centers and they really wanted to know, especially in prison, does anyone in your family drink? Was there abuse in the house? Were there drugs? Were there alcohol? There were all of these things that you had to do, which some of that is for data purposes, but I'm there's a lot of this in my family. Yep. And I was already sober at that point for a few months,
Well, if we want to live, we've got to be free of anger.
That's right. And I can tell you today that I know that that is true because, there's always things going on in my life or in my family, or a lot of what I blamed my drinking on is the exact same to this day.
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
But I'm different, so.
Well, and it's one of the promises of the steps. If we take the steps, we do have a spiritual awakening or a spiritual experience. And the way that we continue to not harbor resentful feelings is by constantly growing that spiritual experience, taking our own inventory, and letting other people get resentments and not us.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh, that one comment, the grouch and the brainstorm were not for us. It's always
Mm-hmm.
interested me. So basically, don't be constantly crabby and mean, and don't.
A habitually grumpy person.
That's the grouch,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yep. And then the brainstorm would be somebody that is like I would call them manic. They're constantly high drama, moody. You may not get a real definition for it right now if you just did they want to
A
tie that in.
moment, a moment in which one is suddenly unable to think clearly or act sensibly.
Well, there you have it. Those things are poison. They are poison. So, message here is don't get shut off from the sunlight of the Spirit.
That's right.
Yep. Don't be a grouch.
Don't be a brainstorm. Don't have a brainstorm. Don't do the hive mind.
There you go. The
Don't
hive
show up
mind.
to your AA home group and poll the audience and share about
Mhm.
what just happened at work and if you should cuss your boss out or
Oh, I got some of that at the meeting I went to last night. I heard some of that. Yep. All right. Well, good reading. Stay away from resentment and fear. What's our topic today?
my best thinking got me here.
Ah,
The grouch and the brainstorm got me here essentially.
that's right. My best thinking got me here. Now, I can say this. Boy, I'm guilty of saying this one.
I bet I have. I
When I
bet I
was
have.
new,
Yeah.
I have since rethought it, but I have said this one. It's a popular statement. I mean, you hear it quite often in the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't know. It kind of implies that we're weak and our minds are permanently broken, and we're always going to be sick. And I'm not sure it's a completely accurate statement. What happened to me was, if I get honest about it, my best thinking got me like sucking on the exhaust pipe of a 1982 Grand Prix trying to commit suicide.
That was the solution you
My,
came up with.
my best
Uh-huh.
thinking got me shooting up mange poison trying to end my life. That's when I start acting on my own thinking. That's what happens. So,
Well, it makes me think too, like there are if my best thinking got me here, I'm certainly not one of these people. But what about all the people that have these advanced degrees? They obviously were able to be educated and think and so none of those people would be in AA if your thinking got you here, right? I mean, they would self-knowledge would prevent them from being an alcoholic, right?
I would think that that's actually accurate. Yes. I guess you could argue that we're sitting here straight out of the trailer park with no college degrees. Maybe our best thinking did get us here. But the
As a general statement for everyone, maybe not. I
yeah.
didn't think at all, quite frankly. I feel like my brain was inactive.
Yeah, so really I that's right. I think what gets us here is our drinking
Yeah.
and our actions. You could even go as far as for a lot of us God may have gotten us here,
Hmm.
right?
The powerlessness got us here, right?
if you believe alcoholism, what alcoholism is, then yes, absolutely, it wouldn't be bad thinking that got you here. It'd be your own powerlessness over alcohol, your obsessiveness over the first drink.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The allergy, once you start drinking, you can't stop. That's probably another real reason why we get to Alcoholics Anonymous.
A speaker that I heard over the weekend was talking about that, how people will say they have the allergy, but they've been sober. So it's very interesting to hear that way. I do hear a lot of people just say, well, I'm allergic to alcohol. I have a alcoholic brain. Do you have an alcoholic brain?
No. I mean, the book says alcoholic mind,
Mm-hmm.
but that's what we get healed from. I mean, the book, I mean, if you look at the description in the book Alcoholics Anonymous on what a spiritual experience or a spiritual awakening is, it talks about getting new ideas and new feelings and emotions and ideas. So that would imply that if we have an alcoholic mind, that goes away when we have a spiritual experience. As a matter of fact, there's a statement in there I don't have in front of me, but I think it's in a Family Afterward where the guy relapses and they say that he still had an alcoholic mind. So I would take that to think that he didn't work the steps adequately enough to have a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
Or for the obsession to be relieved. So, yeah. You hear this a lot, that my best thinking got me here. Well, did it really? What about you drinking? What about maybe you were surrendered by a power greater than yourself? And that's how you made it here.
It wasn't me or my thinking. I know this sounds crazy. I had never heard of Alcoholics Anonymous until I went to a treatment center and I was in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting.
Same with me. Never heard of it.
And people are like, "Did you not see it like in movies or TV or whatever?" And I'm like, "No."
We couldn't get TV with that aluminum foil on our the rabbit ears. God.
No.
Well, is there anywhere where this statement might help somebody?
Well, I think for some people it probably suggests like, "Hey, you need outside help. Like you can't." Oh, what is the other one? You can't you
Oh, you
can't
can't fix your mind with your mind, or you can't.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or however that one goes. So I do think that it's kind of like encourages people like, hey, you need help, you need a sponsor, you need God, work the steps, you know. It probably undercuts some ego or arrogance maybe.
Well, there's no doubt that our minds are screwed up.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that our thinking is twisted and screwed up when we get here. But that even supports the idea more that that's not true, that our thinking didn't get us here. Our crazy thinking would keep us out of here, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So something had to have happened. But I guess it does certainly support the idea that, hey, I need some help.
Hmm.
I can't do this by myself. But yeah, my best thinking got me doing a lot of crazy stuff. Getting sober wasn't one of them. I'll guarantee you that. What's the book say? The big book. Let me
Okay.
rephrase that. What's the book Alcoholics Anonymous say?
There you go. Page 24. The fact is that most alcoholics, for reasons yet obscure, have lost the power of choice in drink.
So that supports what you said a minute ago. It wasn't our thinking that got us here. It was our powerlessness,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
We're powerless over alcohol. Our lives are unmanageable.
Page 62. Selfishness, self-centeredness, that we think is the root of our troubles.
So the root of my trouble is not necessarily thinking itself, but it's my selfishness and self-centeredness. I'm
Thinking
obsessed with
about yourself.
myself. I'm obsessed with myself. Me, me, me.
Which is so interesting. Like you could not have told me. I just didn't think when I read that or when I was told that or when a sponsor said something to me, I would be like, you don't understand. I don't ever think of myself. Like I believed that.
Yep. Yep. Which therein lies the problem.
Page 87. On awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. We consider our plans for the day.
So basically, we start our day off with our thinking, by thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think it does say in there that we ask God to direct our thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of portion of the book talks a lot about thinking. Now, I don't have it all in front of me, but I think this is where it talks about our thought life will be more on the line of inspiration, that thinking about God gradually becomes a working part of the mind. We come to rely on it. Yeah, I think it even says God gave us brains to use, stuff like that. So the book really gives us confidence in our thinking. It tells us to have confidence in our thinking once we get better, right?
Yep. Well, and it tells us too, as we go through the day, we pause when agitated or doubtful and ask for the right thought or action.
There you go. Yeah. Reminding ourselves that we've turned our lives over to God.
Yep.
Yeah. Not on your stinking thinking. There's some shrapnel for you. Yeah, old stinking thinking. Now, these are going to be a stretch, Shank, for the traditions and the concepts.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
All right.
Tradition 11, long form. Our relations with the general public should be characterized by personal anonymity. We think AA ought to avoid sensational advertising. Our public relations policy should be based on attraction rather than promotion.
Okay. Well, here's one tie-in on that I do like. It says that we should avoid sensational advertising.
Mm-hmm.
We should also avoid sensational and hysterical thinking.
Mm-hmm.
OMG should really not be a part of our lives, right? We get overly dramatic about stuff.
High drama.
This is telling us to kind of be humble and to have some wise consideration of things before we take action. And it's kind of based on confidence and being positive. So, I mean, I can see the tie in there. We don't get here to be mindless and to not be able to think for ourselves. It's quite the opposite. However, if you go to a lot of AA meetings nowadays, they're not telling you to be confident. They're not telling you to trust and rely on God. They're telling you that your disease is out in the parking lot waiting to get you. They're telling you that your thinking is flawed. You're alcoholic. You're always going to be sick. And these things are just not true if you take the steps and you try to help other people and live for God instead of for yourself. So anyway.
And actively help people. I have a personal responsibility, not to send emails, which I do, not to get on Zoom calls, which I do, not to write a PAI to change something, which I do. Okay, all of that is important in its own way also. It's not that I do not do those things. It's I have personal responsibility to show up and help someone and speak with my mouth and share my experience. And it's not like this passive.
That's right.
Well, your thinking got you here. figure it out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What do you got for the concept?
Okay, the concept may be a stretch, all right, but let's see if you can tie it in here. Concept 10, long form. Every service responsibility should be matched by an equal service authority. The scope of such authority to always be well defined.
Well, so I think there's actually a really good tie-in with that, because what that's saying is that, hey, if we give you a job, we're also going to give you the flexibility and the ability to do the job, meaning we trust you to do the job. So you can trust your own thinking, right? When we give you a job, right? We trust you to do the job. And so if I've been given a job, I should have confidence in my ability to do it. I should have a confidence in my best thinking to actually fulfill the position. So I think it actually is a pretty good tie-in on that one. And I think it shows that it's important, the importance of clear, responsible thought in service. Now, with all that being said, there are people that get jobs that probably shouldn't have them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they either can't do it, don't want to do it.
Or they went to the bathroom during the vote.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard that over the weekend at a daggone workshop I was in. People think it's funny. I guess it is funny, but it's actually sad, too.
Yeah.
That, somebody's going to go to the bathroom during the business meeting, and they come back and they've got a position. We should think more of our positions. We should hold our positions in a higher esteem than that. It's part of the problem with Alcoholics Anonymous. We don't have good leaders. We don't put good people in the positions. Well, responsible thinking, guided by principles, is paramount. So after all that, Shank, do you think your best thinking got you here?
No. I think my best thinking probably keeps me here.
Now there's a good thought. Because we've been restored.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the book says we've been restored to our right mind. How about that?
I'm way more God conscious, disciplined than. And listen, I never missed a day of work, okay? Like, there were things that were very important to me. I started saving money when I was 20 years old. Like I wasn't a total degenerate in that way, but
Yeah.
having a relationship with God and having God guide what I do and how I do it has kept me in the middle of AA.
And we do get to the place where we react sanely and normally.
Mm-hmm.
And that we become God conscious. The reality is that most alcoholics have a lot of willpower when it comes to other stuff, just not when it comes to not drinking.
I don't have much willpower in any area, I don't believe, but
Well, if you started saving money when you were 20 and you were responsible to go to work, that's
well, okay.
That's what it's talking about.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. That's being responsible, but that's also somewhat willpower.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So if you're saying that your best thinking got you here, maybe rethink that. Let's move on to Living Sober Shrapnel.
All right, so I misspoke. We're not quite done with Living Sober, the book. I was going to save some of this because a lot of the last few pages I think are pretty good, but we'll see what you think. So we do have a few chapters left, if you will.
Well, I'm glad. And if you're out there I know that I misspoke saying we were going to do plain language big book shrapnel. Well, here's the reality of that. We're not doing it. We don't think the book deserves us even giving it any attention. So we're shelving the book for right now. Now keep in mind, we've got it marked up and ready to go.
Yeah.
But we're not going to use it. So we're going to finish Living Sober Shrapnel. And then next season, we're going to do chip shrapnel.
Chip strap.
Chip, I have a hard time saying that, but we're going to talk about sayings and things that people say when they give out chips or celebrate birthdays or anniversaries. It's going to be really good. And we appreciate all the comments we've gotten. So anyway, Shank, sorry about that. What you got?
All right, Living Sober Shrapnel. This is our segment of lore, myth, and sayings taken from the booklet Living Sober, which will probably be rewritten, updated, whatever the terminology is. So we'll go back and reference what we said to see if they were listening.
Maybe they'll change the title to Thinking Sober.
Ooh. Ooh. All right, so our first Living Sober Shrapnel, we're at page 82, and this is from the 55th printing, 2024. And it's, when all else fails, said the old country doctor, follow directions. Yes! So this is from the chapter called Trying the 12 Steps. When all else fails, said the old country doctor, follow directions. We have not talked about the 12 steps offered by AA as a program of recovery from alcoholism, and they are not going to be listed or explained here because anyone curious about them can find them elsewhere. Their origin is striking, however.
That is interesting. Well, I love the comment. When all else fails, said the old country doctor, follow directions. Again, what I would say to that is, why don't we just follow directions? Don't try other stuff. It's kind of like the idea, yeah, like when all else fails, work with another alcoholic saves the day. Well, don't try other measures.
Yep. At least try that one first.
Right. So, it is interesting that in the Living Sober book, I guess it's a booklet.
It is a booklet, thank you.
And it's common suggestions heard at meetings, right? Or
Correct.
Something like that. So it wouldn't necessarily go into an in-depth thing on the 12 steps.
No, but it did reference the 12 steps and the book Alcoholics Anonymous earlier, so.
Well, it did reference them, but I guess it's giving you instructions on everything but the steps.
Correct.
Exercise, telephone therapy, eat some sweets.
Live and let live. Using the 24-hour plan.
Oh, yeah. I love that one.
Being grateful.
Be grateful. Be good to yourself. That's in there. So that's the original self-care.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kind of like the idea of when all else fails, follow directions. The rest of the statement, though, wonder why he didn't say because anyone curious about them can find them elsewhere. I wonder why he didn't reference the book. Alcoholics Anonymous.
No, because earlier in this booklet, it references the book Alcoholics Anonymous. So I did find that interesting, too.
All right. Well, there are clear-cut directions on how to recover in the book Alcoholics Anonymous. So that's what I would follow. I'm going to scrap this one.
All right. It's out of here. Continuing, page 82. Hopeless drunkards.
Now you're talking.
In 1935, two men met in Akron, Ohio. Both of them were then considered hopeless drunkards, which seemed shameful to those who had known them. One had been a Wall Street hotshot, the other a noted surgeon, but both had drunk themselves almost to death.
So thinking didn't get them here. Drinking
Really
themselves
didn't.
to death did.
Yep.
Almost drinking themselves to death. Hopeless drunkards. We've got to start saying this at meetings.
I know.
I'm a hopeless drunkard.
Calling myself a hopeless drunkard.
That dude right there is a hopeless drunkard. Go help him. Well, this is a good statement here. I mean, it's a historical fact. So, I like it. I'm going to keep it.
We're keeping hopeless drunkards.
And we probably need to say it.
All right. Continuing on page 82, the would-be helper. So this says, if the people they tried to help sometimes did not want their aid, they nevertheless knew the effort was worthwhile because in each case, the would-be helper stayed sober, even if the patient kept on drinking.
This is gold right here. Wow.
You're a would-be helper.
Damn. This is nice. This is in Living Sober.
Yep.
The would-be helper stayed sober even if the patient kept on drinking.
Mm-hmm.
So now we got to refer to some new people as patients.
Yes.
Hey, you're our patient. And that guy right there that's 12-stepping you, he is the would-be helper.
He's a would-be helper.
This has got the makings of a play or a skit all over it.
Yeah, that's what they should do at the state convention. Create a skit from this.
Yep. The would-be helper. Well, that's another accurate statement.
Yep.
Right? I mean, if we help people stay sober, I mean, if we help people try to get sober, and it's up to them whether they get sober or not, it helps us. And it is worthwhile because it's the essence of our 12th step. What do you think about this one?
I kind of like this one. Because there's so many times that the people that we try to help just don't want our aid. They don't want our help. And you can either beat your head against the wall telling them that they need your help and they should want your help and just sit here and maybe eventually you'll want help, or let me tell you the same thing in a different way. And it's just a good reminder, like, hey, try to help the person.
Yeah. Listen, I had a few weeks ago, a lady called me that got referred to me from the church where our group meets.
Mm-hmm.
And she was all worried about her son. He's 53, by the way. And she's in her 70s. And she's like, he's got to get help. He wants help. I know he's ready. And I'm like, okay. So I heard her out, and I called him and talked to him. My first question was, hey, do you want to quit drinking?
No.
The book tells us to say that. It's really the first question. And you know what his answer was?
What?
No.
No.
No. And his mom was just convinced that he wanted to quit drinking. So, but he did not want to quit drinking. He wanted his mom to get off his back, and he wanted his daughter to leave him alone.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, my point is, we should try to help people that want help.
Well, you were the would-be helper. Did you stay sober?
I did stay sober. I did. So
You know what's so interesting about that too is at some point, like I've stopped every now and then you'll try to help, or they'll be back for the 20th time and you're trying to help them again and the story keeps getting worse and you're just like, it doesn't have to be like this. And then they still don't want help. And it's like, well, then stop calling me. It's not that you really mean that, but it's just like, my God, you know? So it's just a good reminder.
Yes, it is. Shank, you want to keep this or scrap it?
I think we got to keep this one.
I agree. I like it. We just kept 2 Living Sober Shrapnels.
2 out of 3. And really, we probably would have kept the first one if they referenced the book Alcoholics Anonymous. So there's an
Yeah,
edit.
there is an edit right there. All right. Remember, your best thinking gets you doing crazy stuff. Probably not getting sober. So we recommend taking the steps out of the book Alcoholics Anonymous, getting a new mind, and being free.
Freedom.
Thanks for listening. If you have a comment, suggestion, or just need help, you can email Shank and Wayne at freedom@alcoholicsalive.com. Remember, we're recovered members of Alcoholics Anonymous, but we do not speak for Alcoholics Anonymous, nor do we get paid. Join us next week for another great episode.